Welcome to Tuesday Review. I'm Nathan, as always, joined by James. What's something that's made you happy recently, James?
Oh, hmm. I've been watching From, which I mentioned last episode.
Still making you
So
happy?
that's good. Um, what else? Yeah, I'll stick with that for now, and then I won't take up too much time from our guest today. But next week I will have some juicy stuff.
Or also joined by Alum. How you going, Alum? What's something that's made you happy recently?
Um, I'm doing all right, thank you, Nathan. I think Gen V for the boys.
Ah, nice.
I've been watching that because I'm keen to get onto the new season. Well, at this point, it's been here for a while, but as you guys had said, you probably want to watch Gen V before you start that.
Definitely.
And yeah, just having a good time with that. It's nice to see, I guess, the younger superheroes trying to find their way. So that's something I'm enjoying and being
Wait,
happy with.
is the new season out already?
He's talking
Uh,
about the season that came out a few months ago.
yeah.
They're filming.
Oh,
They're filming for the new
They're filming
season.
the
oh
they're
yeah.
filming the new one. Yeah.
And we're also joined by special guest Tien from TMLE Games. How you going, Tien? What's something that's made you happy recently?
My Kickstarter funding.
Yes,
That's been great.
congratulations. So I guess we'll start off by introducing, I guess, you to our audience. You make like card games, board games,
Yeah,
those kinds of
just
things,
games
and
in
we
general.
we met you at PAX.
Yeah.
How did your PAX recovery go?
Oh, all right. Like the flight from Adelaide to Melbourne is a lot shorter than it seems. So I just got off the plane, went to sleep, went straight to work the next day, and it was okay.
Okay, good. So you recovered all
Yeah.
right. That's good. Usually it's
Honestly,
like,
work was a lot less tiring than being at PAX trying
yeah,
to like demo my
Mm.
game.
yeah, because PAX is exhausting enough, and then if you get sick out of it, it can wreck you. It
Yeah,
can wreck your whole week.
really,
Um,
really can.
so we played two games at PAX with you. We played Videography and Spellwards.
That would,
Spellwards, yes.
yeah.
Spellwards.
It's like
It's
forwards,
like
but replace
Forward
the
spellword.
forward spell
Okay.
to spellwards.
Yeah.
yeah. So because it sounds like words.
Yeah.
Kind of like there's layers to the name,
Yeah.
like but everyone thinks it's a horrible name, but I like it.
No, no, it's
Yeah.
good.
I guess do you want to explain to our audience what the game's about? Spellwords
Oh,
specifically.
Spellwards is a word game loosely based off of Shiritori. It's a Japanese folk game where you say someone says a word and then you have to can say another word that starts with the last letter of that word. But my game is a card game and there's no turn order. I'm really bad at describing it. Like that's why I had the video made.
Yeah. Well, we'll put all that in the description below the video and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so essentially it's, someone gets a card and the card will have a number attached to it, which is the amount of letters you need to play. So it's like you start off with a random letter, whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
And then
something in the yeah, in the
yeah,
center.
and then something in the center. Say it's an L with five, and you have so. But I think for the first card, it doesn't really matter. You just have to play another card.
No, the first I've actually had like three people, like the person I had review my game also messed up the rules. It's like, there's like three rules, but like I've heard every combination of it.
So, but in general, like, yeah, you have to play a
There's a
word,
letter in the center,
and that's the
right?
first letter of the word you
So
have to
say
make. Yeah.
it's like a P, right? Yeah. Then you're trying to play a card from your hand. You have seven cards in your hand, and you play the letter N, and it has a free on that N. You have to say a word that starts in P, ends in N, and is three letters long
Yeah.
Yeah.
before
So you
So
say
say
pin
pen,
or
and
pen.
yeah,
Yeah.
N, pan.
And
I
then
don't
the
yeah,
know.
next person has to use N as their starting letter, and whatever card they have
Yeah,
as
there's
their
no
ending
total,
letter.
so like there's no next person. It's just
Yeah.
whoever.
Or whoever thinks of a
Yeah.
first.
yeah,
Yeah.
So like I like to describe it like it's Snap, but it's always
Yeah.
everyone's turn.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
All
very
the cards snap.
fast. Yeah.
It's a good party game. It's a good challenging game. It's a good word game. I feel like it'd be good for kids too to learn. Like it's like a very vocabulary game.
Yeah, and you have to think about words in a weird way. Like people don't really think about like the how the word ends a lot of
Hmm.
the time. And like as you play, you'll come up with strategy. So like if a word ends in S, just make it a plural. If it ends in G, ing. And yeah, as you play,
Yeah.
you'll come up with strategies like that.
Yeah, and you recently launched a Kickstarter for this game too.
Yeah.
Um, Congratulations on your Kickstarter.
Thank you. Like
Um,
I probably should have there's a lot of things I would have done differently, honestly. It was very scuffed, I think. Like I only had 62 followers before my launch. And generally you try to aim for like 200, 300. And then you meant to have your like
Hmm.
Kickstarter page live, like in its pre-launch for like 6 months and you just keep on funneling people to it. But I had
Hmm.
mine out for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you're still a success though.
Yeah, it still
So
worked, but
you
I
just
made it
unnecessary
a lot
stress.
more stressful than it could should have been.
Yeah.
But that's good. It's good that it's a success, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it, and we'll hopefully get a copy when it comes out.
Yeah.
We'll order it. Is it produced in South Australia?
No, there's no like board game manufacturing in Australia because we're just so far away from everything.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
like if you were to make it in Australia, shipping to like America or Europe would just be just so
Uh,
expensive. It makes no sense. So
yeah, that makes sense.
that's why like people do China because
Yeah.
it's like central. It's like the same distance to all the major spots like America or
Yeah.
Europe or Australia.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I
And
mean, yeah, but there is like Australian companies that work with Chinese manufacturers. So I'm working
Hmm.
with like a kind of Australian company called Launch Tabletop, and then yep, they're gonna make it with
The
their
middleman making an
commission.
easier process. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
So like I guess how is that gonna like as far as your Kickstarter goes, is it kind of are you ready for when it ends to sort of like I guess have you got the process rolling on how you're
Yeah,
gonna I
yeah,
guess fulfill all these orders and how is that process looking like for you? I'm just interested in that kind of behind the scenes aspect of
yeah.
rolling kind of
Right.
this launch out.
Yeah, it's basically it's already made. Like that's why board game Kickstarters are generally safer than like a video game Kickstarter because
Hmm.
all the work's been done already. Like I just need to send it to a printer, get it printed, and I can ship it out.
Hmm.
There's no like extra development. I'm not
Yeah,
like having to code like extra levels or
yeah.
like extra characters.
Hmm.
It's all done.
There's no risk of you not being able to fulfill the product at the end of the
Yeah,
campaign.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only risk is how much money I make from it,
Yeah.
more or
Hmm.
less based on like what the shipping cost is going to be if the tariffs in the US actually go through
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But yeah,
Um,
I'm not really too fussed about making money on the game. I just like having it out there.
Yeah.
yeah,
How many
100%.
is
Yeah.
this your first game?
Yeah, it's my first game. Yeah,
Cool.
I've I've done a lot of research though. Like I made this game like 5 years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were just walking past you and you were playtesting it with just anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, assumedly you'd done that before for
Yeah, I
a
did
long
it
for
last
years, I
year.
guess.
I've been to two free conventions in Adelaide and PAX twice.
Mm.
So I'm used to like calling random people over and be like, hey, do you like word
Yeah,
games? Try this one out.
yeah. Well, that's how you got us.
And like it's only like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So it's like
Oh yeah,
exactly right.
it's so easy to learn and easy to play. It's just for
it's hard to
the
win though.
yeah for someone like me, I was just like, I can't think of any word longer than 4 letters.
Yeah, it's like
So
the time pressure as well, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I love it that not only because, I'm not hating on the kids of this generation, but I am a little bit. There's a lot of kids that don't know how to spell anymore, because everything's autocorrect, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And just that little advantage of the game of it makes you really, like you said, think about how many letters are in a word, exactly how to spell the word, that sort of thing.
and like how words are built.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah,
that's just really cool where, in every kind of game that you're playing, you're learning a little bit, or at least kind of reinforcing good vocabulary sense at the very least. So I'm like, a game that can, help you improve yourself a little bit, that's always an added plus. then there's just the fact of, like you said, the time pressure just, oh, like, I just want to be better. I just want to be like, damn it, I want to win. This,
Yeah.
I think that's great for any game to kind of be like, well, all right, it's over in 3 minutes. Let's roll another round.
Mm.
Yeah. Like
Because,
quicker play. If
this
someone
is going to
like,
be my round, even though it's not
no.
probably, but yes.
You can always
Maybe
get lucky
thinking,
with your hand as well. If you get a
yeah,
bunch of like three, four letter cards, you just steamroll. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, I did
Yeah.
it. I did it.
Yeah, I mean that's also when you're playing with strangers, that's also part of the luck factor too. You'll get someone who's really smart and really wordy and they just demolish you no matter what their hand is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I think it is a good game for like families and kids.
Hmm.
Definitely an educational kind of game too, which is nice.
Yeah. But
Um,
it's also just nice. It's fun.
yeah. It's just fun,
yeah.
straight
Don't want
up.
to stress the education part
No.
too much.
Yes.
Yeah, that might turn the kids off. Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, this
educational. It's
isn't like
dangerous. Yeah,
this isn't like
stay
an
away from
English
it.
test in a box or anything.
Yeah.
There's like
No, but
joy that you can achieve from it.
it's the way you get like the school to buy the cards, the
Yeah.
pack for the game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we could use this in the library. It's for words, and we swear it's not going to be entertaining. Yeah,
Yeah.
but from your playtesting, I guess, did you have because the way you've described the game and the way it is, it's relatively straightforward. But have you still had people manage to kind of, for lack of a better word, break the game, and you've had to go back and kind of change some things?
Not really. Like I spent a lot of time choosing which letters were
Mm.
gonna be in it and like trying to figure out which like combination, which like number and letter combinations are just too hard.
I guess
And
that's the
nah,
side you
there's
don't think
not
about.
there's like
Yeah.
nothing to break. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
guess you could just be too good at the game and just crush every time. So like I've been thinking about like variants or like handicaps you can use on people that are too good. And I
Mm.
might like put it online somewhere if that's ever the case.
Yeah, like wild cards or something. That could
Or
be
like
interesting.
just take three extra cards to start. If you, just like how golf has a pass system,
Yeah.
but like if you're just too good, you have like a massive disadvantage, but you'll still win normally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of stuff like that for Spellwards.
Yeah. Well, we saw that in action at PAX when we were playing our other game, Videography, and someone
Oh,
just kept steamrolling us the entire time. And
like that was crazy.
each round only took 20 seconds because he would just win, and each next round he would get like three extra cards, and it just didn't make a difference.
It just didn't make any sense. It was like because like you guys are all movie podcasters as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So like
And he
it
sits
just seems
down,
so
he's like, I don't watch
random.
movies, and then he's just like knows everything
Yeah.
about them. I'm
Just
like, oh no,
hustling, yeah.
we're getting hustled.
Yeah, that moment was a shark. He just came by.
Yeah.
He's like, "We'll
And
teach
then
these
he
kids a
came
Yeah.
lesson."
back and
So
started talking shit as well. And was like, oh, I played that game.
yeah, nah. The next
The,
minute
the
it
creator doesn't know how to play it though.
nah. And then you know what though? The next game would have been, hey, let's make it interesting. We'll have $5 around. I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah.
out of here. See you later. I've played this game before.
See, he threw down his cards too early. He steamrolled you. You should have
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have
played it
pretended how.
cool and let
Yeah.
you guys win a round or two, get you confident.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He showed his hand.
Uh, Again, we don't condone gambling, but some of us do dabble in it occasionally. So any of these games is fun. Like I said, there's just that. Hey, let's just do $5 for this game. Let's see what happens. And you may sour some relationships or have a damaging, crippling addiction at the end of the night, but you've had a lot of fun, which I think you can't put a price on. Uh, Another
Um,
question I had on, I guess more on game design and that kind of stuff was, have you tested different languages?
I want to, but
Mm.
it should work in French, but like the letters and number combinations is super important. So I just need it for meet for someone French.
yeah,
And then like
you need
that, did you
some.
guys, any of you guys know another language you can tell me with?
Unfortunately, the one you'd have to also have different letters.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
different letters is easy. I've got the templates. I can just print out new letters and
Sorry, I meant a
numbers.
different
Oh,
alphabet. Yeah,
characters.
different
Yeah.
characters
Like,
altogether.
yeah, it's fine.
Which is again a whole new kettle of fish, I'd imagine. But that also seems really cool that you could at least for the letters that the Latin letters. Are they Latin letters? What are they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
could have at least those base languages.
yeah. I feel like a
Just
Spanish version would be really sick.
yeah,
yeah.
Mm.
But I think you're right. I think the number system is what makes it infinitely more complicated
Yeah, no,
because of the
you have to have a deep knowledge of the language.
yeah.
yeah.
You have
Because
to,
obviously the amount of times they use the letters would vary language to language. So that's an
yeah,
interesting thing to think of. Um,
yeah.
are there any games that you've kind of had an idea for, but you haven't been able to make it work?
Hmm. My first game was like a chess type game, and like it's like such a classic first game to make as well. Where I was like, oh, I can make chess better. And you can never make chess better because it's just like it's yeah.
There's
Because
already, yeah, there's already 3D
Yeah,
chess, there's already different types.
there's every type of chess,
Yeah,
and no one cares because chess is just chess. You don't want to add too much to it's already complicated enough.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, that was one game I couldn't make work. It was like Yu-Gi-Oh with chess. I was young.
Oh,
Oh,
actually, that sounds cool.
you
No, no,
actually
it
Hang on.
sounds cool. It sucks though, right?
I kind of want to see this game now. Just like,
Yeah, bring it
No,
back,
there are
bring it back.
versions of like it's like spell chess or something, and they exist.
Hmm.
It's just like it's like too random.
hmm.
It's like you don't want to spend. It takes too long. You have to learn too much stuff,
Hmm.
and
There was that one at PAX me and Alan played.
uh,
Nimbus?
Nimbus, I think.
Nimbus? Yeah,
Nimbus.
something like that. And it was interesting, but they were selling copies of it for like it was like $180 or something.
oh
So something
And
like that, yeah.
yeah, we were just like, look,
It was nice though. It was like finished wood and stone
yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
nice quality, but like, I mean, I don't at a convention, I'm not sure people want to be throwing down that much money on one thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Like,
that was good. There were good ideas for chess, but
yeah.
Yeah.
guess you
Like
got to
if you
know your
want to play
audience.
chess, just play chess, man.
Yeah.
Just play
Yeah.
chess.
So after your Kickstarter campaign is launched and you've gone through the whole process, will there be a chance, say via a website or elsewhere, to buy the game? Or is at the moment the only kind of opportunity we have to buy it through the Kickstarter?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll probably be Kickstarter. I'm gonna have to I feel like I should probably give so there's a retail tier and generally it's like good to not sell it online straight away and let the retailers try
Mm.
to like get rid of their copies before you go in and start like selling it online.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I would probably start selling it online at some point though. Maybe like 2026 sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like
Still,
I might bundle it together with my next Kickstarter as well, videography.
that
So
would be cool.
yeah.
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 Very good.
Um, do you do all the design and artwork yourself?
I did the box, but I had someone as an illustrator for
Do
the
the cards?
cards and
Yeah.
stuff and like the logo. I'm not that good an artist.
Yeah.
I know what my limits are.
No, I like it. They look good because it's, obviously spell words. It's got a fantasy
Yeah. Like
feeling.
magic.
Yeah.
Like it's like art, Art Nouveau, like it's like
Mm,
the
Yeah.
1800 like Alphonse Mucha. It's like
yeah.
the inspiration and like there was a
Yeah.
yeah. You've definitely seen his artwork around.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
got
it's very
like
like kind of mystical, kind of like
Yeah.
yeah,
seasoned.
there was like a children's like illustration book that had the similar lettering. I can't remember what it was called, but it was just like an ABC book and it had a very similar lettering style with like just kind of like fantasy kind of stuff going on in the background. And
Mm,
you'd sit there for like hours and just like look at the pictures. And so it has
Yeah.
that kind of nostalgic kind of lettering, like magic kind of vibe about it, which is nice.
Yeah,
mm,
and I wanted to make it look kind of old as well. Like it's like a game that's existed since the 1800s, and like
mm.
your grandma used to play it in like Romania or some shit, something, and like it's just been reprinted. Like that's
Yeah.
the vibes I
Yeah.
was going for.
It's cool. Yeah, it feels like there's a world contained in it, even though it's a very simple, kind of fast game.
Yeah,
So yeah, it feels like it's got a history or something. Yeah. No, it looks
I
cool.
had like a lot of like marketing ideas for it. I was gonna like try to market it as like a lost game from like a fantasy world or like with like a
That's
magic
cool.
system or stuff, but like
That
it's
would be
too much
cool.
work. I can't shoot videos that good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, this is only the beginning. It's still like your first kind of go around.
Yeah,
So, in future projects can build upon what you've learned here.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot I've learned
Mm.
about like Kickstarter and stuff. I definitely gonna shorten the campaign next time. Also, not end it on like the 21st of December.
Yeah.
It's like an insane time to end a campaign.
Yeah, that's something you probably didn't, no one ever would think about when they're trying to, you're so focused on getting it out there, you're just like,
Yeah.
wait, I'm launching it during Christmas when people are buying
Like I'm
presents.
buying other
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Someone messaged me. I was like, "Can I get it as a gift for Christmas? Like for next year, maybe."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all a learning experience.
Yeah.
We are a movie show and we ask
Yeah.
all our guests, we can edit this out if you're not a movie guy, but I think
Aw,
you
I
might
like
be a movie
movies.
guy because of videography. But
Yeah.
gut feeling, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie,
There's no wrong answer.
it's Shrek. I have this. It's Shrek. I've watched Shrek so many times.
Shrek.
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 Respectable.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, it's a respectable
Yeah.
answer. That's fair
Yeah.
enough. It's a lot of people. I'm pretty sure it's like Alex's favorite movie, friend of the show, Alex.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
Or
it's
Classic.
that.
very
Yeah.
quotable.
Yeah. Or like Gone Girl. I've watched Gone Girl all the time. A bunch of
Okay.
times for some reason as well.
More
Yeah.
interesting movie to talk about. Why does that speak to you? That's
I
Two
don't
different
know.
ends of the
yeah.
spectrum.
It's just as soon as I start watching Gone Girl, I can't stop watching Gone Girl. It's just like even though it's like 3 hours long, I'm just like
Yeah.
impressed all the
Interesting. No, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
Good choices. Very different.
time.
Hmm.
Respect.
And make it an interesting double feature.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd connect the two. We we should actually, before I forget, we've mentioned videography, but we haven't. We talked about it on our show when we talked about going to PAX. But we should mention like it's kind of like Spellwards where you
Yeah.
slam down cards. There's no turn order, is there?
Nope.
Yeah,
Jump in,
and
play whenever you want.
you get a card with like a genre or a trope on it,
Yep.
and there's a card in the middle with a genre or trope, and you just have to pick one of yours and match it
Link 'em.
with link 'em. So if the card on the card in the center said Western and your one of your cards said I don't know,
Science
Robot.
fiction.
You could
Yeah,
be
science
yeah,
fiction.
Westworld.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah,
Kalen's a
Calvin.
science fiction, yeah, yeah, something like that. So and then you just that one obviously is a lot easier just in general because if you've seen a TV show
Yeah.
or a movie, you can play it, and of course it's good for us because we don't have to spell or think of the words of length of words.
Yeah.
Um,
As always with that game as well, like the time pressure is always that killer of like I need to not only, you've got the card that's down, I need to put my card down and have the movie ready before somebody else does.
Yeah. And
hmm,
sometimes there's too many options. Like
Yeah.
I'll get stuck on like animation sometimes, even though there's like a million animated movies.
hmm,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
easy to go blank when you're under that's the pressure
Yeah.
of the moment.
When you especially like that's a game where there are so many right answers, you're almost spoiled for choice, and that it's like Mr. Burns, where all the diseases are trying to get through the door, and they all get stuck, and so he never gets sick.
Yeah.
It's like there all these answers are in your head, and it's like none of them are coming through.
Yeah, they're not getting to your tongue. You're just like, come on, I
Yeah,
need this.
it's because it's like oh, a fantasy adventure
Movie with a
movie.
sword in it. And it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just
And
like there's
and
so
then
many I
what?
can't.
and then you're sitting at the table in PAX and you know what movie you want to say, but then the card shark next to you won't let you speak, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
And the guy was German as well. Like, wasn't
Oh, that
even just
explains
like
it. He's like, I live at the kino.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I do like that, like, obviously, unlike something like 13 where you just get hustled because somebody's got a better, setup than you, there's that 3 second pause
yeah, yeah.
before,
Oh yeah, that was the one thing that could break it.
yeah.
Where like you could just chain all the words in your hand and just play them out in a row. So
Mm.
that's why the 3 second pause is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
smart. Um, all right. Anyone else have any other questions?
So Spellwards obviously is finished and the Kickstarter's out now. That ends
Yeah,
on the
December
21st of
21st.
December.
Horrible
Uh,
time, but it is what it
yeah.
is.
We'll link it again on the
Yeah,
socials when we
we'll put all
post
the
it.
links in the
Yeah.
description. And videography, we'll just that's in the you
next
don't have a
year.
date for that?
Probably not at the same time next year. Probably a couple of months before. Hopefully, like it depends on when I can get Spellwards out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
that obviously that's your priority now and
Yeah, and
you
like
want to
Kickstarter won't let you do another Kickstarter until your first
fulfill.
Kickstarter is
Yeah,
fulfilled,
that
which
makes
is
sense.
smart. You don't want to be like letting scammers just constantly churn out
Yeah,
Kickstarters.
true.
Yeah.
Um,
But
Cool. We'll keep the audience up to date on everything related to Spellwords and videography. Where can people find you? What are your
uh
socials?
yeah, social media, timely underscore TMLE on Instagram. Yeah, that's mostly it. Like
yeah,
I'm just by myself most of the time, so I
Yeah, no
can't be
worries.
asked
We'll
with
yeah,
like all
fair.
the different social
yeah,
media.
Yeah, that's all right. We're on like 8.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
insane. It's so much work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I think you've done a really good job in, like you were saying, you're supposed to have the pre-Kickstarter up and promote the shit out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
get videography up like soon.
yeah,
It's
but
like,
with Spellwords, you did a good job of like, I guess a lot of people were there was
mm,
enough buzz about it.
mm, yeah,
Yeah,
And
but
frankly, you made a great game. Like that, I think that's one of the
yeah,
most important parts is
thank
yeah,
you.
a lot of times, people have put in a lot of effort and heart and soul, but overall, unfortunately, the game is objectively not as good as it needs to be. But in your case, like you've knocked it out of the park with the game. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Thank
I
We
you.
think you've
did.
done one of the harder things.
Yeah, we did an awful job explaining it, but it was a very easy game to play, to learn and to pick up
Yeah,
and to
it's
play.
it's a really hard game to explain for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know why.
it's so simple that it's hard to explain or yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
the video, you just need to watch the 45-second video.
Yeah.
I
Watch the
think you
45
need
second
like
video.
the
Yeah.
graphics, like
Yeah.
I think
Once you
And
having
s-
having the
words is
cards
all
in
the
your hand and
stuff.
everything else
yeah.
shown
yeah.
is
Yeah.
kind of that
Did
critical point.
we
Yeah, once you see
did
it, you know what to do.
did we take any video? I think we did. Did we take a little bit or no? I can't remember. If we did take any video of our play session, maybe we'll put it up with this video. But
Right?
I can't remember
We
if we were
can
recording. I don't
we
think
can
maybe we weren't.
we can splice in the 45-second
Yeah.
instructional video too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just
Yeah.
throw that in as well at the end. Be like, here's how to play.
That's out of play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon that's all we've got for this
Yeah.
interview.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a good
Thanks.
chat.
Thanks, Tien.
Excited to talk again maybe when
Yeah,
video
Definitely.
comes out.
Yeah.
please do. We'll share all your socials and everything about the Kickstarter and the game in the socials when we post this video on Tuesday or
Cheers.
Wednesday next week. This particular interview will go out on YouTube beforehand, and then we'll play it as well on the episode next week. Um,
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us, Tien, and we'll be back
And
right after this.